This is the book of Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. Shalom. First and foremost, call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Also, peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. So this lesson is titled, America Will Go the Same Way as Ancient Rome. Now, when you consider the ancient Roman Empire, it was eventually split up into two factions, the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. Now, the Eastern Roman Empire never really fell at the same time as the Western Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire was pretty much absorbed by the Muslims, right, when they started to conquer. But before the Western Roman Empire fell, the whole of the Roman Empire was split into two factions, all right, because the Western Roman Empire was, having trouble with the things that we're going to go into in this lesson, but all in all, only the western part of the Roman Empire fell. The East continued on for, I believe, another 1,000 years, and then it, was conquered by the Muslims. But when you go into these reasons, the things that caused the collapse of the Western Roman Empire is pretty much the same thing going on today. Understand? And when you look at America and Europe, in particular, that was the territory of the ancient Western Roman Empire. And of course, through those territories, the major kingdoms which sprung out of those former colonies, being England, Spain, France, Germany, places like that. The whole of the Western Hemisphere was pretty much colonized, all right? And of course, America came out of the British. So understanding this, like I just read in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, there is no new thing under the sun. So what has been before will come again. So just like the old Roman Empire fell, this current day, modern day Rome is going to fall as well in the same way. All right, so what I want to do is, before we jump into this, I want to go to the book of Daniel, the second chapter, all right, to get a context as to what system that we're dealing with in this current day setup. All right, because when the prophet Daniel interpreted Nebuchadnezzar's dream, he gave a very vivid description of the kingdoms that would arise in the last days. All right, so when you deal with it, when Daniel described the statue, the head of gold represented the Babylonian Empire. The breast of silver, those were the Persians. All right, so the Babylonians, they were the first empire upon the planet Earth to rule over the known world at that time. Then they were conquered by the Persians. Well, not conquered, they were assimilated by the Persians. Then after that, it was the thighs of brass, which represented the Greek Empire, which that was the beginning of the Edomite rulership, starting with Alexander the Great. All right, that was their kingdom, the so-called white man's kingdom, began with the Greeks. And even when you learn in school, even scholars will tell you, Salakia, that Western civilization began with the Greeks. All right, so even they will tell you that. And then, of course, when you jump down to Daniel 2 and 33, it describes the legs of iron, his feet parts of iron and parts of clay, right? Which iron, that was the main weapon of the Roman Empire. You know, they were known for their iron weapons. All right, that's how they conquered the world. Because at that time, I forget what age it was. I believe it was the Bronze Age, but then the Romans came in with the iron, and they were just pretty much able to conquer wherever they went because they had the most advanced technology, and of course the Lord was behind the Edomites, blessing them with the sword. All right, so getting into it, this is Daniel 2:31. It says, "Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay." 34. "Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them into pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth." Now, what is this describing? Okay, this is basically describing the destruction of all of the heathen nations. Okay, all of the kingdoms that ever ruled upon the earth. At the end of the day, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to come back and destroy all of them. Okay, that's why it says here that that these kingdoms were broken into pieces. All right, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote them became the image of a great mountain, which represents the rulership of the Israelites. Okay, and filled the whole earth. Because at the end of the day, the Israel under Yahushua is going to rule over all the nations of the earth, man. Okay, we're going to rule them with a rod of iron. It's going to be a very rigorous rule. Understand? This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. Okay, so Daniel gave the interpretation that the Babylonians, which, like I mentioned before, was the first empire to rule over the known world at that time, that the head of gold represented them. All right. "And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth." See? So the kingdom of brass, which represents what? Greece, and then later on Rome, okay, representing the iron, which was the rulership of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided." Keep this in mind, because we're going to get into this later. "But there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken." Okay, so keep these things in mind that we're reading here, because this is all going to tie into the lesson when we get into the causes of why the ancient Roman Empire fell. And you're going to see that these same things are happening today with this current system, which is an extension of the Roman Empire, the rulership of Esau. All right. So now we can get into it. Now that we have that context established. All right. That Rome, that was the rulership of the Edomites, and they at that time ruled over the whole known world. All right. And now who now rules over the whole of the known world. The Edomites, okay, this is their current day Rome. See? So 8 reasons why Rome fell. Let's get into it. Number one, invasions by barbarian tribes. It says the most straightforward theory for Western Rome's collapse pins the fall on a string of military losses sustained against outside forces. Rome had tangled with Germanic tribes for centuries, but by the 300s, barbarian groups like the Goths had encroached beyond the empire's borders. The Romans weathered a Germanic uprising in the late 4th century, but in 410, Salakia, the Visigothic king Alaric successfully sacked the city of Rome. All right, so basically what you can get from this, invasions by barbarian tribes. So that means what? Rome had too many enemies. When you look at America and NATO and the EU today, they have too many enemies. All right, everyone is talking about shooting nukes, invading. Okay, World War III is hot right now. See? So literally, what scripture is that? Thou art small among the nations, but greatly despised. I can't remember exactly where that's at, but yeah, the scriptures are speaking of Esau, Edom, that he's the least of all the nations. Esau is the base of men, all right? But he's the most despised, okay, because he rules the earth unrighteously, man, all right? And he's a tyrant, okay? Esau doesn't rule in righteousness. He doesn't play fair. See, that's why Russia, China, even other Edomites are about to come up against the West, man. See? So America, NATO, and the EU, the modern day beast system, man, this is gonna happen again. Okay, invasions by barbarian tribes, or today the barbarian tribes are the other nations, the opposition to the West. Reason number two, economic troubles and over reliance on slave labor. Even as Rome was under attack from outside forces, it was also crumbling from within, thanks to a severe financial crisis. What's going on now? What's going on with all these banks closing up and transferring money, and people's checks going missing, man? You know what I'm saying? The money is being devalued. This the current modern day financial system is about to crash. Okay? So it's the same thing going on today. Constant wars and overspending has significantly lightened imperial coffers, and oppressive taxation and inflation had widened the gap between rich and poor. Once again, you see the same thing. Okay? These devils, well, Esau's blessing was the sword. So, of course, they love war. Okay? It says what? Constant wars, man. I believe out of America's what 200 and basically America has been at war for, I believe, 97% of the time that it's existed. So what is that, man? Constant wars, okay? Overspending, okay? Borrowing money from other nations in severe debt, all right? Same thing. In the hope of avoiding the tax man, many members of the wealthy classes had even fled to the countryside and set up independent fiefdoms. At the same time, the empire was rocked by labor deficit. Rome's economy depended on slaves to till its fields and work as craftsmen, and its military might had traditionally provided a fresh influx of conquered peoples to put to work. But when expansion ground to a halt in the 2nd century, Rome's supply of slaves and other war treasures began to dry up. A further blow came in the 5th century when the Vandals claimed North Africa and began disrupting the empire's trade by prowling the Mediterranean as pirates. When its economy faltering and its commercial and agricultural production in decline, the empire began to lose its grip on Europe. Okay, and today, America, NATO, and the EU, they're losing their grip over world hegemony. Okay, you have other nations now rising up and challenging America, man. Okay, calling out America, North Korea, China, Iran, Iraq. Okay, America got ops, man. Okay, America has many, many ops, and they all coming for Esau's head. Okay? Because they understand that, the Lord has a spirit on these other nations that Esau's time is up. Now they think in their deluded mind that they're going to be the next to rule. Okay, China thinks that it's going to be the next superpower. Russia thinks it's going to be the next superpower, even though they're Edomites too. But no, what they fail to realize is that the Israelites, okay, under Yahweh Shai, are going to be the next rulers over the planet Earth, and will forever will be. All right. Over expansion and military overspending. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Euphrates River. All right, and if you look at a map of the old Roman Empire, they had a very large territory. All right, but its grandeur may have also been its downfall. With such a vast territory to govern, the empire faced an administrative and logistical nightmare. Even with their excellent road systems, the Romans were unable to communicate quickly or effectively enough to manage their holdings. Now, how many military bases, how many embassies does America have worldwide? Over 250. Okay, America pretty much has a military base in pretty much every country outside of course, Russia and China and places like that. All right, but yeah, pretty much America, Europe is pretty much all over the world, man. Okay, which is what? Over expansion. Okay, you stretch yourself thin. You've been so greedy and so covetous, man. Okay, Esau is everywhere. This man is everywhere in everybody's business, sucking up the resources, man, destroying the people, taxing the hell out of people, man, spreading his military everywhere. So of course now America is spread thin, and too much money is being spent on the military. Hence why even now inflation is so high, because they're pumping all the money into this war. Okay, to build ammo, to build tanks, to build aircraft and carriers and all those kind of things, man. Okay, but this is really the downfall of the West, of Esau's rulership. All right, government corruption and political instability. And yes, indeed. Okay, this same very thing happened in ancient Rome, and hey, we already know what's happening today. Okay, because Esau is a damn criminal, man. He can't even get along with his own. If Rome's sheer size made it difficult to govern, ineffective and inconsistent leadership only served to magnify the problem. Ineffective and inconsistent. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Bush, okay, Bill Clinton, man. Inconsistent and ineffective. All right, being the Roman emperor had always been a particularly dangerous job. But during the tumultuous second and third centuries, it nearly became a death sentence. Civil war thrust the empire into chaos, and more than 20 men took the throne in the span of only 75 years, usually after the murder of their predecessors. So see, it got to a point to where things were just so bad and dysfunctional that they was offing emperors, man. You see? They were offing their leaders because they were so corrupt and just so wicked. So that so that right there shows you the character of Esau. All right, that shows you how depraved and wicked that this man is, man. To the point that the people inside the Roman government, they had to off the emperor. Because when you go into it, man, a lot of these emperors, man, they was just sick. You know what I'm saying? Like they was just doing very, very heinous things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what ended up happening. Barbarian tribes arriving, attacking the Roman fortifications. You know what I'm saying? Basically what ended up happening, man, was that Rome was being attacked from so many different angles. It's like you can't even deal with it all. It's like, okay, a war or a skirmish breaks off over here, Rome got to go deal with that. But then another one pops off over here. You know what I'm saying? Once again, they were just stretched too thin. Their empire was so big they couldn't defend it. You know what I'm saying? So they just ended up losing territory after territory until eventually Rome itself was sacked. All right. Christianity and the loss of traditional values. Now this is a big one. Okay, because what do we see today? Of course, we know Christianity is bugged out. You know what I'm saying? But even more than that, the loss of traditional values, man. Okay. In times past, America was so-called founded on, Christian principles in which, you know, the man was the head of the household. You know what I'm saying? Then it was the woman and then the child. You know what I'm saying? More activity wasn't accepted. You know what I'm saying? Certain things were taboo. But what's happening now? It's pretty much anything goes, man. Okay? Anything goes. Anything that you want to be, a woman can claim that she's identifies as a parrot. Okay, you got men getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You got women changing themselves into men changing themselves into women, children changing themselves into whatever that they want to be, man. So everything is just freaked out. Loss of traditional values. Okay, there's no value in being traditional anymore. It's pretty much just be as weird and as out there. Just try to go as far left as you possibly can. That's what it is now. Okay, so this is the same thing that we're seeing now, and you see it. Okay, you can see the moral decay of America, and this is why this fall is gonna happen so fast, man. Because the people here are just completely wicked and immoral. Okay, you got drag queen shows going on, man, with 3, 5, 6 year old kids. Okay, twerking in front of kids, man. So you see, so this place is just through. The decline of Rome dovetailed with the spread of Christianity, and some have argued that the rise of a new faith helped contribute to the empire's fall. The Edict of Milan legalized Christianity in 313, and it later became the state religion in 380. These decrees ended centuries of persecution, but they may have also eroded the traditional Roman value system. Christianity displaced the polytheistic Roman religion, which viewed the emperor as having a divine status, and also shifted focus away from the glory of the state and unto a sole deity. Now, they called it Christianity, but really back then, it was followers of the way, which that wasn't the Christianity that people worship today. Okay, that was really based on the scriptures, man. Okay, that was really that Christianity back then, as it was called. That was before Esau came in and corrupted it. You know what I'm saying? That was like the pure way, man. But and that's symbolic as well, because hey, what Yahweh Shai, the faith in Yahweh Shai came in and took down the Roman Empire, man. Okay, just like you have today, hey, you have the hopefully elect prophesying. Okay, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and us, coming back to the Father and being repentant, being obedient, man. That's causing this place to fall even quicker. Okay, because everything that we're saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going down. All right. So, hey, don't underestimate faith, man. Okay, don't underestimate, praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, because hey, we see that the Lord is moving. It's lucky if I'm if I'm kind of all over the place. It's been a long day. Trying my best. Says here. Yeah, meanwhile, popes and other church leaders took an increased role in political affairs. Further complicating governance, the 18th century historian Edward Gibbon was the most famous proponent of this theory. While the spread of Christianity may have played a small role in curbing Roman civic virtue. Most scholars now argue that its influence paled in comparison to military, economic, and administrative factors. Okay. Weakening of the Roman legion, so weakening of the military, and you also have a weakening of the military now. Okay. You have LGB members inside the military. Okay, now you have trans up in the military, man, transformers. Okay, and then the will to actually go to war is not there. Okay, back in the day, you know what I'm saying, like really before well, yeah, I'll say Iraq too, you know, because then that's when you know, the witchcraft was still strong and Esau had their propaganda going. But ever since Iraq, you know, well, Vietnam, that was a failure too, you know. But the West really doesn't have the will to fight, man. You know, it's pretty much just like, I'm gonna be in the military so I can, you know, have a 20-year career. I can get out, you know, I can get my nice little pension. I can get benefits, and you know, I'm good. I'm set up. You know, that's really why people join the military now. Like, they not joining to go to war. You know what I'm saying? So not, you know, the motive and the morale is not there as well. All right. So when you go through the main reasons why ancient Rome fell, can can you see the comparison? Right? Can you see the direct correlation of how the ancient Roman Empire fell and how this current modern day Rome is falling? All right. It's all there. You know, everything is there. Everything is lining up exactly the same way. Okay. You have these devils about to collapse the system and bring in the new beast system, in which everything is going to be on the grid. The RFID, the central bank digital currency, is going to be the way in which you buy and sell. Okay, World War III is right around the corner. All right. Russia, China are going to try to invade. Okay, or if not invade, definitely nukes are going to be flying over here. All right. So it's very clear, you know, for those that have the spirit to see that we are in modern you know, Rome all over again. Okay. And just like ancient Rome fell, this place is going to fall the same exact way. All right. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying through the Rakak Dash. And in closing, call Lord Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Dash. And until next time, Shalom to the elect.